swirling my coffee over here. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope that you're having a lovely day out there wherever you are, whatever part of the world you are in, whether it's Detroit, Michigan, or Tokyo, Japan, Istanbul, Turkey, or Orlando, Florida, along with me. Wherever you are, hope that you're having a wonderful day out there. Today we are embarking on a journey. We're doing a full album listen of the fifth studio album from the band Caravan, released 1973, for girls who grow plump in the night. How did they grow plump in the night, and what happened? Well, either there was a midnight snack, or there was a midnight snack. Anyways, we're going to be listening to this album on record. We actually have the vinyl album that was gifted to us quite a time ago, and now we are here going to actually listen to it, and I'm excited. I already have the record loaded up. I've tested the audio, so everything should be decent. It should be kind of okay. I actually used Genesis Duke to test out the audio, because Duke is a great sounding album. So I used that to make sure everything sounded right. So I think we should be pretty much good to go, good to start off this album listen. Hope that you guys enjoy it. Hope you're here for it and you spend some time here. As always, before we embark on this particular album, press that like button. Why not? You're already here. You're listening to me speak. You're listening to me remind you. Just press it. Get it out the way. Subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, you can sign up on Patreon and support the channel that way as well, but you don't have to. That's the beauty about it. You don't have to do a thing. You just sit back, relax, put your headphones on, such as I'm doing, and let's begin. We're going to start off with the first track, which is Memory Lane, Hue Head Loss. Interesting. Let's go ahead and turn ourselves down. Well, let me get this started. Why not? Hey, let's get that spinning, get that action going, and then I'll turn myself down and we'll give it a listen. See you guys soon. And I might adjust the audio a little bit just to make sure it sounds good, by the way. A little jazzy-ish breakdown, I like that. I love the skittering on the hi-hats. I love that.
It's all that I have and it's all that I want.
Okay. How good of an opener do you need? Because you got it there. Oh, man. Memory Lane, Hue, Head Loss. So Caravan really jumped out the gate with such an energetic track that rocks, begins with some slightly funky-esque guitar and bass rhythms, those melodies, of course. You have the, of course, inclusion of the flute going on here, but then you have the violin, for example, that ending, I say conversation, but the solo back and forth between violin and guitar. Just how fun was that? That was so unexpected. The congas entering. I see here that on the first track especially, you have a lot of other featured musicians in here that are handling different things. For example, outside of the band themselves, Rupert Hine on the synth, Frank Riccotti on the congas, Hastings on the flutes. I mean, you have, and of course that big horn section, which we have several members of that handling the horns there. Like all these little unexpected elements that really makes this track, especially for a first-time listener, a little track that's filled with a lot of surprises. I especially like the moments where they would elongate the beat for just like an extra measure, kind of unexpectedly. They would do that a lot of times throughout the track, and then they would kind of get back into the music. Like, that was really fun. The bass playing, I think, is going to be a little bit underrated in here because bass was absolutely killing it. I will say alongside with the organ, honestly. They're both doing fantastic work in here. And then those lead vocals here, courtesy of, I believe it's going to be Pi Hastings. There was a few people credited with vocals, but I'm thinking it's Pi Hastings here. How pleasant does it sound? I would say that this even sounds a lot more energetic, for lack of a better word, than in Land of Grey and Pink. Like, I love that album, but this is already starting off with like bangers. Already starting off with fireworks in the back pocket, and I mean that's a way to go. Looking at the lyrics on this one. If you get on the road that takes you back, there's a lot of things you ought to know. You're going where I want to be. If you get on the road, you've got to take me. Can you see I don't care for all those things and fancy strings? I just want the chance to try and find me. Wants the chance to find himself. I stopped having dreams some time ago, so now it seems I have to show if there's a chance I've got to find me, someone or somewhere, there's someone who can see. A broken winged dove is all he has to show for love. Oh, please help me, please, to find me. So we have perhaps the idea of a shattered relationship, a broken romance, and in this space that he's left brokenhearted, he's going to try and find himself a little bit. And then the second part of the track, Head Loss. Has anybody seen I've Got Me a Dream? Gonna be happy, yeah. And of course, when you listen to this part, it definitely becomes a little bit more like rockier, but still retaining that groove and movements. And a lot of the music in this particular track kind of carries that same idea, that same whimsy, and what I would say is like joyful frolicking that you hear in their sound here. Never knew that light could seem so bright. Couldn't you tell me no? Imagine me today thought they'd come to take me away. After all you chose, or choose, you've got to win or lose whether to find me. I've got my pipe and I've got my song and I've got love to keep me happy. It's no surprise I've got bleary eyes. It's all that I have and it's all that I want. So he has this satisfaction in love and his pipe. Now, whether this is a pipe as in smoking or if this is a pipe as in the flute that was playing, I guess you could make an argument for both. I've got my coat and I've got my comb. I'll be far gone come tomorrow. The moon comes out, I'll try to stare him out, and I'll dance to the light if he's chasing me home. And then he reiterates that he's got love, he's got his pipe, he has the two things that he needs. Hey, with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on into the next track here. By the way, because I'm using the record, I don't have any like timers or anything like that, so I can't see properly when a track ends. I'm just kind of assuming based off the sound. So I'm hoping I'm not messing anything up. I hope there's no false endings anywhere, and I stop it, and then we come back, and it's gonna... You know what I mean. So if there's ever any mistakes, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm prone to them. Let's move on to the next track, which is Hoedown. Let's go ahead and put it back down. It's going to play the ending of Memory, but let's continue forward. Take another sip from my sippy cup. Trying to count it. 7, 8. I got you.
Gotta go, better tell it now. Something's in the air. Don't care if I do it or die. That don't mean a thing. We'll get you every day. We'll get you every way.
Give me that fiddle-esque kind of sound.
Something's in the air. Don't care if I do it or die. That don't mean a thing.
You know how some tracks could be described of as bangers? Well, that's not a banger, that's a clapper. When I think of a hoedown, I'm thinking of like a barnyard, not brawl, but like dance. Like, you know, I don't know, like a county fair and people are in the barn dancing and someone has a fiddle and they're fiddling. Here you're going to have, you know, Jeff Richardson on the violin there who kind of acts as that. And I just see like people hopping in, clapping, and this one's a clapper. You know, it's a different kind of fun vibe. It almost has a country-ish, a more Western-focused kind of sound to it. And I really enjoy the way the guitar comes in. I like how they still play to their strengths. They still stick in that odd time signature, playing in that 7/8. And the way that guitar riff plays throughout is just very country fried chicken. Like, that is just like... It's fun. And the extra percussion, once again, helps drive this movement along as you dive further throughout the song. I love the whole band singing in this one. I like how the vocals double up and actually adds this kind of, to me, even furthers that party vibe, I guess you could say, because it sounds like the crowd and the audience is singing alongside the band, a local band. This is what I kind of envision, you know? I just think the whole thing has a really, really wonderful sound. And like I said, I do think that Jeff Richardson on the violin there makes a nice appearance, adding to that atmosphere. Got a gig, I'd like you to know. We're leaving here tonight. We're going to just sing our song and everything's all right. We'll be missing you, but that's for me to care. Gotta go, better tell you now, cause something's in the air. Don't care if I do it or die, that don't mean a thing. Yes, indeed, that's all we need, so everybody sing. And this kind of works so well with what I kind of just said, with what I see, I guess, listening to the music. Like, the band is just there to play. They're not there for a long time, but they are there for a good time. And then after that, they're moving on. You know, sorry to see you, go, but we're happy that you were here kind of feeling. Count It Out But into yourself, love, that's the thing. It's there just if you don't know, it makes your body sing. I'm talking about me, myself, and all the world around. Want to see you, take you by the hand and do some mess around. Dance this mess around, B-52s. Don't have to know, lovin' takes you back. Gets about, and I want to shout, so everybody sing. We'll get you every day. We'll get you when the nighttime comes along. We'll get you with our song. Because when you go to a live setting, when you go to a live show, and the band is playing, they're hot, it's infectious. It's just absolutely a joy, of course, to be around live music. And I think that this kind of captures lyrically that feeling. And musically, absolutely. And still, it's just such a jolly-go-lucky kind of song, you know, which I would really expect listening to Caravan. Let's go ahead and move on into the next track, which may hold some surprises in store for us, seeing as that was entitled Surprise, Surprise. Let's go ahead and let it rip. Ba-boom. Give me another sip. That's a fun riff, though.
After all this time, it's got no better. Here I go, can you sing along?
Listen to the bass, guys, and the slide guitar, the steel.
Didn't we believe we were so? Didn't we believe we were something?
Oh, the violin kind of snuck in there, huh? Getting a fade out? I was not expecting us to get a fade out. I thought, okay, all right, that's fine. I really wasn't expecting a fade out on this one, just because it seemed like it was gonna keep going. But that's, you know, I'm not mad at it or anything. I was enjoying the vibe of it. God, tell me how can you not smile when you're listening to the chorus there? That chorus is so uplifting with all the band joining in on voiced, and it just boosts it. It just goes to the stratosphere. It just hits. I love that sound from them. It reminds me in some ways of Yes. Not necessarily like, you know, comparing their music or anything like that. It's just that Yes not relies, but has those soaring group harmonies that really take the music to another level. And I think that Caravan, especially in this track, is doing a similar thing. Like, I get a similar feeling, that positivity, that upbuilding and confidence that just soars in their vocals especially. John G. Perry on the bass. Did you hear his bass line in here? Ooh, it's so strong and rhythmic. It almost seems like he's singing songy along with Pi, and I really like this balance that they have melodically together. I think it sounds fantastic. The way that Jeff sneaks in there, he really snuck in there with the violin. he creeped and faded himself in there and delivered a sublime solo. Not flashy, nothing crazy, but it fit very well in the mood of the music, which began very slow and then kind of stepped into a more middle-paced affair. I think that so far this album is just really fun to listen to. I don't see how, you know, I mentioned with the chorus, but especially with the rest of the album thus far, how can you not smile listening to it? It's just like this beautiful piece of sunshine, a slice of sunshine, you could say. Just sunshine rays in your face. After all this time, it's got no better, and the words just seem to pass me by. So I think of you in the morning, singing a song to fill my eyes. Here I go, can you sing along? Stopped to say hello, something overcame me. Didn't want to go and pass you by. Looked at me so fair, saw the sun upon you, bow or blow and slip through your hands. Summer stole away all the breath within me, leaving me gasping for some air. Have so much to say, hardly seem to matter. You were more than some one day. He sees this person, and he just gets butterflies in his stomach. He's hit and awestruck by this person, and he even says, you know, you were more than just some one day. He looks at this person with just a magnitude of respect, romantic prospect, and just wonder. You know, he's deeply infatuated. Didn't we believe we were so? Didn't we believe we were something? Didn't we believe we were more? So much more than words can say. Suddenly sunshine, suddenly love. When the years are gone and we live on memories, will you still remember me that way? Before we go on to the lyrics, I really like that one. When the years are gone and we live on memories, looking back And he says living on that. That is such an interesting way of writing that. Living on those memories. Like I do you too. No matter where I could be, something's going to steal away. Didn't want to go, didn't want to leave you. Something pulling me back. Hurt me so. Waking up, I found feet upon the pillow. Head and shoulders on the ground. Feet on the pillow, head and shoulders on the ground. That's not a good way to sleep. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Cthulhu. We're getting Lovecraftian here. Cthulhu. 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 Did I press it? I didn't press it. I need to press. Did I press it? Hold on. Okay. I thought I messed up my thing already. They've already captured this kind of horror from the deep. Okay.
Something seemed nearly there.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Only thought to get away. Oh, no, didn't.
This is a great one. I love that, dude. Wow. Okay. That organ. Reign of terror. I love it. Is that gonna be the track? Is that the that seems to be the first side? Okay, I gotta move this because I gotta flip it. All right, let me raise my volume up. This is just me first listen, okay? Cthulhu, favorite track on the album so far. Ooh, okay. Caravan has demonstrated in this album. Let me check a few things. A totally different sound than we got with Land of Grey and Pink, right? So let me just do some research super quick because I want to see where this album lines up in their respective discography. So this album is actually 2 albums after In the Land of Grey and Pink, because you have In the Land of Grey and Pink, Waterloo Lily, and then this particular one, Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. They have a different sound here than they do in Land, right? Like this one is more kind of like rock driven a little bit. There's some more groove in here in certain ways. Because Land, like I said, obviously I love that album, but like it's a little bit more pastoral. There's this delightful pleasantness to the music in that one. This one, especially this track, it demonstrates that they're kind of trying something new. Cthulhu, which I'm just going to call Thulu, or Cthulhu, starts off with this kind of like eerie whale-like sonar noise kind of echoing in the distance, and you can hear the music begin to rise from the depths, right? And then the guitar riff. Oh, it's so hard. I love that. The whole track, for the most part, carries this kind of eerie, something's coming up from the depths, a little bit of a thalassophobic feeling that you hear, and the riff is just crunchy. Then later on, you really get into something that I would say is kind of akin to Black Sabbath. I would not be surprised to hear a riff like that off of a Black Sabbath album. But the way that the band integrates that with their adventurous chorus, because the verse is definitely more like, I guess, harder, eerie, empty, whatever you want to call it. But then as you switch momentum into the chorus, it kind of has this adventurous feeling as the band's describing running away from this horror. I just think that shift in the mood is really cool because they handle it well. But for them to go into that mood in the verse to begin with, I think is fabulous. As a first-time listener, seeing the track Cthulhu, I'm like, okay, this has to be something mysterious, kind of spooky. There should be some tension in here. But from what, little, of course, I know of Caravan, I'm used to their more pleasant, uplifting kind of thing, right? So I didn't expect them to actually, I guess, be successful in the direction that they chose to go in here. I think that's hugely accomplished, and, of course, I shouldn't have had lacking preconceptions because it's Caravan. All right, I got to take my headphones off so I can actually flip the record as we prepare to move into side 2 of the album. And of course, we'll discuss these lyrics here in just a moment. Get that flipped down. I got a Windex the top of that, by the way. Hope you guys can't see the dust on it. All right, let's go to the lyrics on this track here. And then you still, at the end of this track, had those kind of delayed hits where they really made you wait for them. Let's get into those lyrics here. From the forest down below came a voice that cried no. Something seemed nearly dead, making me feel so cold. Even the trees seemed to fear there was something unreal. Couldn't see very far and the sky had gone darks. And then here is the chorus. So we ran far away. Yeah, as fast as we can, only thought to get away. On and on, we didn't know where we'd gone. If it was night or day, come back. I hear a voice call, I can feel it pulling me down. In my head, it felt like something had said, you'd better slow down. But I tried so hard not to make a sound. Feeling better, I turned around. And coming up behind me, I could see ellipses. Like shadows in the trees, they came creeping unknown, keeping close through the ground. I can feel them tramp on. Saw the music, they knew we were somewhere close by. They began to crowd us in, sinking deeper in pain. So, okay. I only know of Cthulhu through pop culture. I've never read whatever story he comes from. I know H.P. Lovecraft wrote, that and everything like that. But I don't really know the story. I've read a lot of little articles, on the mythos of him, but I don't really know anything about it. I do believe that there's a cult, and if I remember in one of the popular stories, it takes place at like a seaside town or somewhere, and there's like the main character, like, I don't know, I really don't know, gets there, and then like the cults of people of the town is very weird, and I think that's kind of what it's in reference to here, because it's clearly talking about our POV character here trying to run away from these people. So that's kind of what I'm getting, but like I said, I don't have the knowledge of the book or wherever Cthulhu came from, Lovecraft, or anything to really connect those dots. But I'm pretty sure those are the dots. I may not be able to connect them, but I think I got the dots at least. Really, really good track. And I forgot to mention, I mentioned during the track, but in case you weren't, listening at that point, I love how in the verse, especially in the beginning, you have those bites of organ and guitar that show up at the end of every measure there. Anyways, the album's flipped over, and it's time for us to flip over as well. If you are still here with me, you know I like to do this just to check on the analytics, see who's stuck with me throughout the album listen here. So if you are here at this point, I just want you to tell me. I want you to put in the comments really quickly for me. For girls who grow plump in the night, how do you think they got that way? All right, let's move on into the first track of side 2 of the album. The dog, he's at it again. What is he doing? I can't even begin to imagine. Let's get the record started. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of my maple pecan coffee that my wife got me. And it's not bad. I'm not usually into flavored drinks, but this one's doing it for me.
Lovely girl, would you like a sweet to eat?
Never look back on the things that you lack when you're in.
Keys and organ and everything are blissful in here.
My mother said that I should stay out of bed, but I know that I like it in there.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with that. That is fiery. Listen to the bass bringing it down. Okay. Cthulhu, at this moment, is my favorite track on the album. However, at this exact moment, Sinclair's solo, his keys, his organ, all that stuff, is my favorite moment on the album. God. The rest of the song was great. This could be in the running for favorite on the album. But that solo was just everything. How many words do I need to use to describe how excellent that solo was? Excellent, superb, awesome. Yas. It was just... And I love the sound that he chose. The sound specifically that he chose. Those tones just cut through the music so powerfully. Of course, melodically. It's a joy to listen to. And you know what I really think is cool? During the solo, there's some moments where he kind of, for lack of a better word, like, he rides in the wake of the other instruments, the bass especially, and a little bit of the guitar. He kind of rides into the same melodies that they're playing, like the notes, but then he kind of comes out of the wake a little bit and plays his own thing, of course. Then for a moment, he'll dip right back behind the boat of the rest of the band, and then he'll dip back out. He's kind of water skiing behind the boat. Behind the wake, out of the wake. Behind the wake, out of the wake. Just excellent playing, obviously. But I really mean, like, that's a brilliant solo. Like, I can't overstate that because it is just wonderful. And then I really like the way that Perry on the bass plays with that solo. But especially as the solo is nearing its close, there's a certain way that Perry plays on the bass that almost acts as like a signal to Sinclair, like, hey, we're about to come back in. And I just like the way that they kind of, obviously this is composed and everything, but it's a nice little nod that we as the audience can see or hear. And it just, I don't know, it just makes a nice impact in the music there. Of course, this one has those hugely inspired and positive vibes that we've had before, but here they are just tenfold. The chorus from the band as they sing out and rings out through the halls, and it makes you feel good. Once again, I can't see how you listen to this and don't smile in some capacity because it's just so joyous to listen to. I mean, it's catchy too, honestly, in the way it ends. This has a strong case for being best song on the album as well. I'm going to put this one in Cthulhu. The Dog and Cthulhu, they can go at it. I don't know who's going to come out in the end. Lonely girl, would you like a sweet to eat? I've got something that I'd like you to hold. And my brother will tell you that it's good for your cold. So sure, surely there's nothing wrong. Take my hand and we'll try to make a stand for all censorship, decency, all night long. You're naive if you really do believe that the world is full of sin. Never look back on the things that you lack when you're in. My mother said that I should stay out of bed, but I know that I like it in here. And why does he like it in there? Well, think of all the things that he could get in bed. Legs and thighs, hellos and goodbyes. It's all there. The dog, he's at it again. Here is my cure for colds, and here's my cure for measles. When you've tried those, if you've invented your toes, well, you're surely in luck. You'll get a stunning good show. So if you come with me, we'll try to clean the inside out. This filthy old world is such a beautiful girl, and you must have a sweet. I'm sure it's good for your feet. I don't know. There's nothing to say on that one except the dog, he's at it again. And I really do like his delivery singing wise here, especially in the beginning. You really get that whimsical tappy toes, that dancing across the streets, just gliding. He just really has this beautiful delivery that I think makes the most of his voice and his abilities. It's fantastic listening to him sing. With that, let's go ahead and move into the next track, which seems to be broken up basically into two parts. Be All Right, which I guess if you lose your left arm, you will be. And then Chance of a Lifetime. Let's go ahead and put the needle down, and we'll continue on. Is that solo the best thing on the album so far, though? I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice with it.
Think on the sunshine. Don't throw away. Think on the sunshine in your mind.
I have to make sure the track ends. Oh, this album is filled chock full of moments. This is a moments album. Like, you have obviously great songs, great tracks, but there's little moments in all of these tracks that just like send it. So obviously, like I said before, this track is, technically split into two parts, and you clearly hear a difference between the two parts. But even in the beginning, when it first started, I was getting a little bit of a jazz fusion vibe in the beginning. I was really thinking like Jean-Luc Ponty. Like, I wasn't thinking Mahavishnu, but like I was thinking in that realm. And I like that. I really enjoy that setup there. Great first half. I gotta tell you though, if I'm being 110% honest with you, and I'm telling you my first reaction and everything, the second half, like, superiorly overshadowed the first half, that I truly don't even remember the first half that much. I'm being honest. Like, I enjoyed the first half, I know that, but I was so in love with the jazziness of the second half that I've completely forgotten basically what happened in the first half. I don't know what happened in the first inning or whatever, but I sure know what happened in the final. Oh, the jazzy lounge vibe that we have, that we spark into, transition into so nicely, so brilliantly. Everybody just sets up in this nightclub. The lights come down low. The lights are blue on stage, and the band comes up. Not erupts, but comes up, walks to the instruments, and begins to play this brilliantly blissful piece of jazz-influenced music. Like, that is just wonderful. From everybody. The slow roll of the vocals, that smoky delivery, and once again, the organ and the the violin. The fiddle. Like, everything. Like, that is just beautiful. And then what a great transition near the ending out of the main instrumental part to the final few moments. Like, that was just That's how I felt on that one. We got Santana all up in there. Then the lyrics on here. Think of the days in so many ways we used to talk and how we would love to sing. Would you think twice of all the things nice your memory holds? And that's what your love could bring. But it's all right now, it's all right now. Don't think of me as something to see. I only have sunshine and love to bring. Somehow I feel there's something unreal about the way money means everything. That'll be the fall of all of the worlds you love. Mummy, I said that thing, but it's all right now, it's all right now. So, I guess he's kind of saying, like, as long as we have love, everything will be all right, but perhaps things get murky when we involve other things such as the pursuit of money, perhaps greed. I don't know exactly, but that's kind of where I'm leaning. And then moving into Chance of a Lifetime. Oh, God, that's good. Think on the sunshine. Don't throw it away. Chance of a lifetime to come. In a world that's not gray. You'll see there's diamonds in the skies and a rainbow around your shoulder for all time. Think on the sunshine in your mind. So I feel like this one is kind of saying, like, we are sometimes so quick to throw away the things that we have. Whether that is a physical thing or a mental thing. We have, there's days of positivity and happiness. Of course you have your cloudy days, so to speak, but there's typically a silver lining. There's something that you should be proud of in your life. There's something in your life that should bring you happiness. Just because maybe something taints it a little bit doesn't mean you should throw that whole thing away. What's the phrase? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. Time has no meaning. There's a year and a day. And all the people you see will smile if you stay. Laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Worry and you'd all be in there trying to. That's a good line. It's a really good line. See, there's no love lost in your mind. Look for the sunrise, it will shine upon you. It's always there in your mind, I'm searching there too. Don't live the life they want you to. Figure your own and then go see it through. Mind, it's your mind, it's your mind. That independency, that make yourself proud of yourself. Don't worry about other people, don't worry about all that noise outside. Worry about the inner temple. And I really like what he says here in the beginning of that verse, where he says, look for the sunrise. Like, there's action. Look for the sunrise. It will shine upon you. It will be there for you. You know why it'll be there? Because the sunrise is guaranteed and you know where to find it. So even if you find yourself in that dark place, you internally know where you can turn. You know that sunrise will always be here. Sometimes you might have to look around for it. Sometimes you might have a loss of a sense of direction. But you can always look for that sunrise. You can always look for that second opportunity and many opportunities after that. At least that's what I'm getting out of it. I'm having a good time. You guys having a good time? Let's go ahead and finish out the album with the last track here, the longest track here on the album, clocking it at near 10 minutes. That will be 4 tracks. Is it 4? 5 tracks, technically, I guess, put in together here. That's going to be La Berge du Sanglais. Sanglais, maybe. A Hunting We Shall Go, Pangolin. Isn't that an animal that's endangered? Or that's a pangolin. Backwards, and A Hunting We Shall Go, reprised. Let's go ahead and dive ourselves on in. And did I press the button before? Okay. I had my buttons mixed up. Ignore me. I'm gonna take the last sip of my maple, whatever this is. Ace is stretching it. And some strings. Oh. Back to this, huh? That's it. That's the album. Okay. I have no timer here, so I'm just listening. Oh, that actually went by super quick. And it wasn't until halfway through that I realized it was instrumental. That was really quick. I mean, a 10-minute track for it to go quick, I guess that's a compliment in a way. Okay. I gotta tell you, first of all, just listening to it, it's broken up into 5 parts, but I only heard really like 2 separate parts. Like the first part, you know, L'Auberge des Sangliers. I don't know which part was the next part, because there's 3 more, and then I heard the reprise. I don't know. Either way, this was a really cool way to end the album. I like how we got so much different diversity throughout the past few tracks here. And then for this one, we kind of go into this more orchestral, symphonic direction. It's instrumental, so we leave vocals behind. And the first part is very dramatic, right? It's proggy, of course. It's proggy, but it's kind of dramatic. Then the orchestra and those strings begin to swell. The horns begin to blast and loom. And then it slowly changes into something completely different as we move into, I don't know what, but what I would say is the second part of the track. And it becomes just like a little bit more subtle in its approach. You have the return of that very beautiful synth organ, whatever it may be, from Sinclair, which I love the tone. I love the way that tone specifically matches and yet still stands out apart from the rest of the orchestra that plays, which, like I said before, is a really unique sound. And for them to bring that in, I think was a really fantastic idea. Obviously, everyone is jamming, especially drums, like just going very, very hard there. And I like how this is kind of like a symphonic ending to the album. I think it pulls everything together really nicely. And then the last part, of course, for just a brief moment, kind of goes back and calls back, reprise, to the first part there. I think that was a really nice wrap-up. I don't really have anything much to say on the wrap-up, but I think that it did a great job in creating this very exciting conclusion for the album. Like, you're looking forward to the end, and yet at the same time, you don't want it exactly to end. I think that they did a great job. This was a really, really good album. Really good. I won't kick off Land of Grey and Pink off of its Caravan, I guess, tier list. I've only listened to 2 albums now from the band. And I'm more familiar with that one, so I have more of a heart at the moment to that one. But I gotta tell you, like I said, Cthulhu and the Dog, those were bangers. Those are really, really good. Those are my favorite tracks, obviously, on the album. And I'm leaning towards Cthulhu, but tomorrow it might be the Dog, so who knows? He's at it again. But what I do know is that you guys already pressed the like button because I asked you to do that in the beginning, and I'm sure that you followed direction. But if not, it's okay. No punishments here. Just, if you don't mind, press that like button before we leave, before we conclude the video. And once again, I do thank you so much for being here and for spending some time with me. I have no idea how long it's been. I think it's been a little bit over an hour. I'm sure it's been a little bit more than that. Maybe an hour 20. I don't know. I'm not counting. But I appreciate you spending that time with me, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. Like I said, before you leave, press that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. If you want, you can support my channel on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. Let me know what your favorite tracks are on the album. Not tracks. Let me know your favorite track. Just give me one. I'm giving you Cthulhu or the Dog, but I want one. And otherwise, I really hope that you enjoy your time here. Please come on back tomorrow. You never know what we're going to do because most of the time, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it. That's what I can guarantee. So have a great day, guys. Thank you once again for just spending some time here, and I hope that you come back in the future. Have a great one, guys. Bye.